So thank you guys for coming. I really do appreciate this. This is the first ever Rich Off Food live event, all right? And yeah, I'm a talk back kind of person. So if you hear something you like, I want to hear some noise, okay? I don't like crickets, okay? I did write some stuff so I don't get off track because I could yap, all right? So tonight is going to be amazing. I'm going to be speaking, and then I'm going to be bringing up our guest speaker for the night. I'm going to be interviewing him live, right on the scene, somebody that I admire so much, and I appreciate him coming all the way out here, right? Okay, real quick, raise your hand if you own any type of food business here. Raise your hand, raise your hand. Okay, got a couple of us. Raise your hand if you're involved in food at all. Raise your hand, raise your hand, raise your hand. Raise your hand if you're here just to see me. Let's go. No, I'm just kidding. Thank you. Let's go. Hey, no. That's why my girl left. My girl left. She's like, I'm tired of seeing you. She's like, I see you every day. So can everybody here agree with me that the food industry is one of the hardest industries known to man? Right? We all agree with that? And the problem is this. We get reminded every single day that it's the hardest industry ever. Hey, Zach, what do you do for a living? Oh, I own restaurants. Damn. I'm like, here, ooh, that must be rough. That's the hardest industry. I'm like, yeah, okay. I know, I live in it every day, all right? And so, I wanted to bring everybody here to my restaurant, my brand new restaurant. One, because I want to show it off because it's brand new, all right? It looks nice, right? It looks nice. I've been here a couple times. Yeah, I know. You're a regular. I'm about to put your picture on the wall. It might already be there. But to also show that, I'm no different than any other restaurant owner. I started literally from the bottom. I started with a maxed out credit card, cooking plates in my mom's backyard. If we want to go even further back, I started at 15 years old as a dishwasher at a Japanese restaurant. Everybody asks, Zach, vanilla rice, that's what everybody calls me. Why'd you choose hibachi? Why'd you choose Japanese food? And I truly believe that it chose me. I could have got a dishwashing job at a taco shop. I could have got a dishwashing job at a burger spot. I ended up getting a dishwashing job at a hibachi spot out here called Osaka. And I worked there for, 8 years. I worked there for 8 years. So I worked there from 15 all the way till 23 when the pandemic put me out. The pandemic, we went to commission. Who wants to make commission at a restaurant during the pandemic? I was making like $2 a day. My friends were making more on unemployment. I'm like, yo, sign me up, right? So I ended up leaving there, and actually before the pandemic happened, I actually started selling food out of a friend's backyard with my friends. Everybody knows how starting business with friends goes, right? It's amazing, right? It's the best thing ever. So we ended up actually having a fallout, unfortunately. And I never want to sell food again. I was like, I'm just going to cook food. I'm not going to open up any businesses. That's not what I want to do. And then the pandemic happened. Like I said, we all lost our jobs, went on unemployment. And a buddy of mine was like, why don't you start selling plates again? Why don't you start selling food again? And mind you, the first time I started, I lost all my friends. Why would I want to put myself through trauma like that, right? But it just kept ringing in my head. Just sell some plates, open your business back up. I don't know why Wells Fargo gave this 22-year-old kid a $3,000 credit card, but that's what I had. I had a $3,000 credit card. I went home. I went on the computer, went on Webstront. Anybody know Webstront here? I went on Webstront. I maxed that card out. I had everything coming, grills, pans, tables, everything. And I lived in a 400 square foot apartment, right? So where do I get a ship to? My mom's house, of course. She's got a backyard. I'm like, hey, mind you, I didn't ask her if I could cook there yet. That was on the way. So anyway, that's what I want to let you guys know is why I brought you guys here, just to show you that, it is possible. You guys, if you started from the bottom, this is what is possible if you really, truly want it, right? And just like our guest speaker today, you can get 1 location, 2 locations, 10, maybe even 110, all right? Okay. It's more than that, to be honest. Okay. Yeah. And I know we got some people here, like I said, that raised their hand, that own restaurants, that own multiple stores, some people that own them in other states as well. We got D over there. Real one. And a lot of you came today because you might have a dream to eventually open a restaurant. You might have a dream to open a food brand. You might have a dream to do anything in food, whether it's being a foodie, being a content creator, anything like that. Not everybody's dream is like mine, where I want to truly open 1,000 restaurants. I want this to be a national brand. some people's dreams is they just want to open a restaurant so, they don't have to work for somebody the rest of their life. Or some people just want to open a restaurant so they can maybe pass something on to their kids. But whatever it is, you guys came here today because you have a dream and because you also wanted to see me. I know.
I love it.
I know. So who here has noticed over the past year to maybe 2 years, even the past 6 months, a lot of restaurant closures?
100%.
Like, is it me or is it more than ever? Is it like every other day? I mean, I know I'm in the industry, so I get sent posts of restaurants closing down, spaces closing down, and it's honestly truly sad. People are putting their hard-earned money. They're taking out loans on their house to open these restaurants just to be closed down in 6 months to a year. And so that's really the reason why I started Rich Off Food. A couple reasons. Obviously, I want to showcase the amazing restaurateurs out here, not only in Las Vegas, but in the world, all across the United States and even in other countries. I want to showcase everything that people got going on that are doing absolutely incredible, because I'll tell you this right now, it's not easy, and we need to be recognized on a very big platform.
I don't like easy.
Hey, me neither. And also, there's three other reasons. I want to be able to help people start restaurants. I want to help people be able to stay in business. And I also want to convince people and let them know that this ain't easy. So, if you think this is easy, put your money into something else, okay? Because a lot of people open these restaurants and don't realize the actual grind and the hours and the call outs and the health department and payroll and equipment breaking and hoods not working and the pest control service. I mean, I could go on for hours just talking about all the moving parts when it comes to a restaurant. And I think that it would be beneficial to let somebody know when they got 150 grand, like, hey, I want to open a restaurant. And I let them know all this, and they're like, actually, you know what, let me not do that. This is a lot of wasted money. Am I right? All these restaurants closing down, they do a $250,000 build out, $1 million build out. The Pepper Club just closed. You know how much they spent on that place? Over $1 million, just for it to close in 2 years. So if I can either, like I said, help people open, keep people in business, or deter people away, that's truly what Rich Off Food is. Can you guys hear me, by the way? Cool. So that's truly what Rich Off Food is, all right? So thank you guys so much for coming. Who got a hat? Who needs hats? You got a hat? We got a hat?
No, wear it sideways for you.
Oh, you're a real one. Put on the Tupac. Opening a business, any business. Who here has any children? Anybody raise your hand if you got some children, right? Who here, all right, here's another question. Who here went to business school? Nobody raised, oh, one person, okay. I think that opening a business is like having a baby. Everybody can agree with this. Once you have that baby, oh my gosh, it's so cute. They give it to you, they go, okay, bye, see you later, figure it out. There's no manual, there's no instructions. It's just, you're on your own. Luckily we got TikTok now. I TikTok everything.
I'm trying.
And I feel like that's truly what business and restaurants are in general. So like I said, that's what Rich Off Food is. That's what this platform is going to be. I want to showcase all restaurants out there on the platform, and education. Because who here's got food education? Raise your hand. What kind of food education you got over there, besides eating it?
Allergies.
Okay. Allergies. That's important, because I'll tell you what, I've learned a lot of allergies that I didn't know people had in the restaurant industry.
Yes.
Right? I didn't know people were allergic to pineapple, onions, garlic. Allergic to garlic. Keep me away from those people. And so it's just truly unfortunate that a lot of people open food brands and have to close this down. So that's truly what I think I'm passionate about, what I know that I'm passionate about, and what I really wanted to bring everybody together. Network with other entrepreneurs. You talk to her about your business. You talk to him about his business. You guys talk about, I got some real estate people here, just so that it's a community, right? You're not alone. We're not alone, I did this for a long time, when I lost all my friends, because when you start your business, sometimes you got to separate to elevate. And it's a very lonely road. And I'll tell you what, I've met some of my best friends I ever had. Now, I thought I was never gonna have a friend again, after that. Now I'm like, I'm very blessed and very appreciative and very grateful for what food's done for me, and I want to be able to give that back to people as well. And enough of me yapping. I know why you guys are really here. Yeah, I know it isn't to see me, but it's to see this amazing, thank you, love you too. See this amazing gentleman that, let me tell you a story how I met this guy. Anybody here know a guy named Dave Meltzer on Instagram? Some of us do, okay. So let's just say this guy puts on events where, he charges what? 200, 300, more, 1,000, 1,500, $2,000 a ticket to join these events, right? And mind you, this guy's a big deal. I'm like, shoot, I don't got $2,000 to go sit in the chair but I got to figure something out. I must have signed up for one of his text blasts. Because one day I get a message being like, hey, bro. And as I learned, it's not actually him that's texting you, hey, bro. I thought, when I first got into this, I thought it was the actual person being like, he knows me. He knows me. So I learned, I get a, hey, bro, I'm going to be at In-N-Out today at 5 o'clock. Can you make it? I'm like, yes, I'll be there. I'm coming. Did you see my text? And so I show up. Obviously, I introduce myself. Hi, I'm Vanilla Rice. You can't forget that. So I start going to him. I start getting more messages, these free ones. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm going. Free events. I'm starting to realize you're asking him questions on entrepreneurship and he's telling stories and you're meeting other entrepreneurs just kind of like, exactly like this. So I'm at one of these events. We're inside of the Wynn. We're actually standing in the middle of like this hallway of the Wynn. We're kind of blocking traffic. And he's got 20 or 30 people standing around him. And of course, I raised my hand, and by this time he's like, what's up, Vanilla Rice? Can you ask a question? And I'm like, yeah, that's right, I'm legit, he knows Vanilla Rice. And so I asked him, I said, last year I did X amount of revenue in my business. This year I want to do X amount of revenue in my business. How do I go from this place to this place? And he looks at me and he's like, well, you know who you're standing next to? And I can't even make it up. It's like, this is me, and I'm standing next to this person right here. And I look over, I go, no, how you doing? Nice to meet you. He goes, yeah, that's Ike, owner of Ike Sandwiches. He owns over 100 restaurants. That's the guy you need to talk to. And right there, my mind was just blown. And luckily, I don't know if he saw something in me, but he goes, at the end, right, he goes, give me a call. Gives me his business card. I'm like, all right, you got it. Fast forward, this is not just somebody that I admire. To me, he's a friend. He's a mentor. Let me get my paper out. Hold on. I wrote this down. I wrote this down. Yeah, because I don't want to mumble. He owns over 130 sandwich shops in over 100 cities, 9 states. He is the sandwich legend. Everybody, I want you guys to put your hands together for Ike Shehadeh. Come on down.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Thank you. There you go. All right. We got the man here. So this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna do this kind of interview style, and then we're gonna open it up to some questions for some Q&A. Sounds good?
Shush.
All right. Mr. Ike. How are you doing today?
It's been a beautiful day. Traveling, eating.
Here.
Speaking.
Here. Let them know how you're doing.
Oh, yeah. Actually, my life, it's a microcosm of today. I traveled, I ate, and I'm speaking. And I've fed probably 10,000 people today, so that's my life.
You fed 10,000 people today. How did you feed 10,000 people today? You're here with us right now. How did he feed 10,000 people today? What's in right here?
Well, it's called delegation or leverage or both. Yeah.
So you're at this point in your business now where you can feed 10,000 people without being there.
Yeah, it's basically a dream. Plus, the money is good when you can feed 10,000 people and still be hanging out here in Vegas. Yeah.
Let's go. So I got a question for you. For people that don't know you, when they see you, they meet you, how do you usually explain what you do?
Hey, so what do you do? I'm in the restaurant business.
And they go, damn.
And then they go, okay, cool. Sometimes they go, oh, like, what do you do? Do you manage them? Are you a chef? What do you do? And I'm like, yeah.
Keep it cool like that.
What am I? Yeah, I'm like one of the top 5 restaurateurs of all
Come
time.
on, spit it. That's what we
on
wanted
this
to hear.
planet, in the history of the universe.
Is that true?
Of course.
Yeah. Let's go.
By the time it's done, it'll be the Mount Rushmore of restaurateurs. Ray Kroc and then me.
You're gonna be on the Mount Rushmore with Ray Kroc. Well, you better save a spot for me, because I'm gonna be right there with you.
You can come up next to me. That's fine.
Let's go. So when did you realize that you wanted to open up a sandwich shop? Or did you start with sandwiches? Did you start with something else?
Well, kind of like you were cooking for a long time before you opened up a place. I've been cooking since like 5, 6, since I could reach the counter, since I was eating all the time as an 8-year-old, 9-year-old. My mom was basically, hey, look, I'm not gonna feed you 37 times a day. You're gonna get breakfast, you're gonna get lunch, and you're gonna get dinner. But here's how a microwave works. Here's how a plate works. Here's how, basically I could use anything in the kitchen as long as I didn't use the stove. And so I learned as a kid how to turn my mom's dishes into sandwiches, because I couldn't use the stove, I could only use a microwave. And I guess like what was his name? The Earl of Sandwich, like the real guy. He's busy playing cards, so he invented the sandwich. Me, I was busy playing video games, so instead of cutting a steak or some leftover lamb and rice, I would just stuff it in the bread and then stuff my face in between trying to play Nintendo, the original Nintendo.
Hey. So, I'm not trying to say what you do isn't impressive, but I'm sure we could all make a sandwich here, am I right? Yeah, we can make a sandwich.
Yeah, you guys all made a sandwich like 1,000 times in your life.
We could all make a sandwich. What was the turning point where you're like, people need to eat this sandwich? I need to showcase this.
So it kind of never had anything to do with any other people. I was busy working 3 jobs, and then I added a 4th job, dropped job, and I realized that there was lots of things about the jobs that I had that I hated, but a lot that I really enjoyed. And I noticed that in the areas that I enjoyed, I excelled, I studied, I learned about women's fashion, I learned about, because I was working at BB, it's ready to wear women's fashion line. I worked at Victoria's Secret. I didn't know what the 34 and 30B meant, 34B meant. I definitely didn't know what the B meant either. So I just know like, oh yeah, they're huge or they're not huge. But then I learned about what that stuff meant and how to sell those things. I worked at Trader Joe's, and I really enjoyed the culinary aspect of that. So when I looked at the jobs that I had and the stuff that I didn't like, I focused on what I did like. And so I made a list while having 3 other jobs about what would I do, and it would be like selling bras or putting together a recipe at Trader Joe's or selling fashion. And I made this list, things that I would excel in, things that I wouldn't, it didn't matter the money. Like I didn't get paid extra from learning about bras or learning about fashion. I just ended up getting promoted because they're like, oh, you sell a lot of bras and you sell a lot of fashion now. And it just clicked for me. So I made this list. It was 37 things, and on the list was stuff like snuggling baby animals, cooking, eating, feeding people. Anyway, I wrote this list, and for each thing on the list, I wrote out, what's 3 ways I can make $1 doing it? And after looking at this list, 111 different ways to make money, I was like, oh, I think I should open up a restaurant. And so that's why I opened up a restaurant.
So how many things did you have on that list?
It was 37 things.
37.
I probably would have pressed myself. I could have written more. But like everybody here right now, you are already doing things right now without the expectation to get paid. Like who here gets pissed off that they're hanging out with their dog and nobody gives them $5 for it? Anybody?
Every day.
Or your cat. Or your kids. Maybe you get pissed off if you hang out with your kids and nobody gives you money. But there's things that you're doing right now, and you not only do you not expecting to get paid, but you're not upset that you're not getting paid. You're not mad at the universe. You're not mad at billionaires for not paying you for hanging out with their cat, or the president for not paying you to go on dates if that's what you like, or the governor for pissed off at him because when you go out to eat, nobody's paying you money to eat. No, you do these things already for free, without the expectation of getting paid. So if you're gonna do it already and not get paid for it, wouldn't a wise thing to do think about, like, wow, how can I get $1 hanging out with my cat? Or $3 brushing my teeth? Like things you're already gonna do.
So would you say that you followed your passion for making sandwiches?
I would say
'Cause you were doing
that
it anyway without getting paid.
it's more like inspiration. Like if you said cat, I said dog, you said cat, like you probably really enjoy cats. And that's why you hang out with the cat. And that's why you have a cat. And the draw to do it, the inspiration, the thing that's inside of you, I don't think we're like passionate about whatever shopping, or maybe you are, or passionate about hanging out with the cat, or passionate about reading books. It's just you're inspired to do it. Like it just comes from you inside. Where somebody might hate to read and somebody else is like, oh my gosh, I read a book a week. And so using that drive that's already within you to do something and then being like, wow, how can I make money off of it? And I started by a small hustle. All right, so I'm broke, have 3 jobs, and I'm in my early mid 20s. And I was like, all right, well, you eat, and we were friends. Hey guys, how about we all pitch in and get some food, and I'll cook for us. And so now a meal that would have been normally like 30, or probably back then like $20 for me, is now $20 divided by 3 for me. And then you guys are like, oh, Ike's gonna cook it. And then it eventually turned into, over time, now I got 10 people coming over every Saturday. And I'll just charge you guys for the food, and then I'll cook it, and then I get to eat for free. So it was slow and steady, steps. And then I was starting to get really passionate, inspired. Like I'd call people like, all right, we're gonna do this theme night. And please don't bring anything. You're gonna ruin my vibe if you come in and you bring whatever you're gonna bring, because I'm doing Caribbean night or something like that. So I'd be like, literally, don't bring anything, just pay $5, and so it turned into that. Then it turned into, now I'm making $50 doing a dinner party at my house, but you're getting a filet mignon or something, so you're like, oh, well, I'll pay $15 for that. And slow and steady, and then I just opened up a restaurant from there.
And so your first restaurant that you opened was Ike's Sandwiches?
It was called Ike's Place.
Ike's Place.
Ike's Place, and I wasn't a sandwich shop.
Okay.
I had a full espresso bar. We were open from 7 a.m. We had rice milk and soy milk and macadamia nut milk and almond milk and brown and regular milk, obviously. And then we had lactose-free milk, and then we had 2% and 1%. I had like every single
I didn't know there
milk
was that many kind of milk.
possible. If there was like, if I could get yak milk or what's the one from Deuce Bigelow or whatever, the Badger milk. If I could get all that stuff, I would have had it. But I just had all the milks. Then I also had sandwiches, obviously. I had breakfast. I had salads. I had a full vegetarian menu, like 20 vegetarian items. And then I sold ice cream, milkshakes, sundaes, stuff like that. And over time, when I didn't know what Yelp.com was, you'd be like, hey, by the way, I saw you on Yelp. Did you know you're #1 in the whole entire city of San Francisco on Yelp? No, I'd never even heard of Yelp. Cool, so I started looking at the reviews. Oh, I went in there and Ike's a great guy, great sandwiches, 5 stars. Oh, I went in there and Ike's a great guy, great sandwiches, 5 stars. Oh, I went in there and Ike's a great guy and great sandwiches, 5 stars. Oh, I went in there and Ike asked me for my phone number. He's a freaking creep, but his sandwiches were awesome, 5 stars. Like, it was just all the like 30-something reviews, all 5 stars. All about the sandwiches, or about me, or both. And I was like, so then you would come in and go, hey, can I get a salad? I'm like, we don't sell salads anymore. And you're like, oh, it says up there. I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. You're getting a sandwich. I was like, that's it. We're just going to get rid of the salads. We're going to get rid of the breakfast. Because everybody's like, eat a sandwich at Ike's.
You got rid of the Badger milk?
I still have the Badger milk today if you want.
Wow, that's incredible. So you realized that one product is selling. You didn't keep everything on your menu, because that's what a lot of restaurant owners fail, you know. That I worked in a restaurant where we had one item on the menu that one guy ordered once a year, and we'd have to get an ice pick and scrape it off the side of the freezer just for this guy. And I tell the boss, like, look, man, no one's ordering this. We need to take it off the menu. He's like, no, but such and such orders it, so we need to keep it because we need to make our customers happy. You were not about, obviously you're about making customers happy, but you're also, you know, you're in business now, right? It's
Well, there's definitely sandwiches that I kept.
Yeah, because how many sandwiches do you have now?
Over 1,000. So the version of me is, we had this one guy, Doug, and he always my original vegetarian menu had Boca burgers on there. Anybody know what a Boca burger is?
Is that like the mystery meat?
It's basically it was like, what's Impossible or what's the other one, Beyond? But
Beyond
before
Meat.
that, it was I don't know, some kind of vegetarian patty that had mesquite. It kind of tasted like the flavor of a burger. Definitely didn't taste like a burger. And we had Doug, and they were frozen. They steak came frozen. They're on the frozen aisle now. You can still get one. And this guy named Doug would come in and get one like twice a week. And nobody was buying. Literally nobody bought it but Doug. But I was like, it's a $10 box that I could buy at Trader Joe's, coincidentally. And I just kept it in the freezer. And if Doug wanted one, we pulled it out of the freezer and defrosted it for him and made it for him. But legit, now he's the only person that we kept it for. So we did have that version of that. But no, if you wanted a salad, I'm like, never heard of it.
Yeah.
Well, you have lettuce and you have this. I'm like, I will not make you a salad. Nope.
So do you think that was one of the best business decisions you could have made?
Which decision?
Completely niching down on sandwiches.
Well, I was looking at what was amplifying the business, but also what I was passionate about. I could care less about salads. In fact, the only reason why I had salads on my original menu was because every restaurant and cafe has a salad. And then I realized that that's not a good enough reason for me to have that on my menu. So I was like, I don't even like salads. I could care less if you get a salad. In fact, I want you to not get one. So let me just get rid of it. So I took it off. Now, whereas the breakfast sandwiches, I love breakfast sandwiches. Love breakfast too. In fact, I loved them so much that we would sell like 3 a week. 2 was to the neighbor upstairs. 1 was to me. And I kept it for like 2 years. But then one day the health inspector came in and said, well, if you have these raw eggs, then I'm not going to pass. Like, he was trying to mess with us on our pass-fail thing because eggs are salmonella and all that. I'm not saying they're not. But then it became like, okay, so have the egg sandwiches, even though I'm passionate about them, or the health inspector is going to harass me every single time I come in. So that was a case where I did get rid of something that I wanted to sell, but because the price was too high to keep them. And then the last thing we got, the coffee I got rid of almost right away. I'm not passionate about coffee, unfortunately. I made it like when I was in high school and I realized I was addicted to caffeine. I was like, that's it, never gonna be addicted to caffeine. And I just quit cold turkey. And I only had coffee because I was a coffee shop. Who has a coffee shop without coffee?
Yeah.
So that's why I went from a cafe to a sandwich shop, because once I got rid of the coffee and the salads and the breakfast, it was basically just a sandwich shop with ice cream.
And so, I was told that the most profitable item in a restaurant is the one that's selling the most. And correct me if you have a different perspective on that, but if my Kool-Aids aren't selling, but that's my highest margin, technically on paper, yes, that's my most profitable item, but it's really my steak and shrimp plate. And would you consider that same with your sandwiches and your salads? That was obviously your most profitable item, so it's time to get rid of everything.
Yeah, so for me, actually, I'm blessed. Our most popular sandwich is also the one that I actually make the most profit on from a sandwich perspective.
Well, that's always good.
So
that's a win-win.
Now, ironically, I will never order that sandwich. I've never ordered that sandwich since like 2007, 2008. To me, if you come in and you get that sandwich, I'm like, oh, that's basically being a basic bitch at Ike's. So
don't be a basic bitch.
And please keep buying it because I make a lot of money off that sandwich. More money than any of the other sandwiches.
Can we know which sandwich that is?
No, because I just can't talk shit about it.
He said no.
I just talk. I don't want to, it to hear that I'm talking shit about it. Yeah.
Got it. Keep
It's
it
my
under
baby.
You want its ego
Makes
to go?
me It paid for my flight here.
There you go. So I want to go more into like the business side and the money side. What's one thing that you think restaurant owners should be paying attention to, but usually they're not?
Ooh.
Drink Kool-Aid, that's what it is.
You gotta sell what you want to sell. I know we were just talking about what people bought, and I got rid of the things, but I didn't get rid of salads because they weren't selling. I just got rid of them because I didn't want to sell them. I realized I was selling them because that's what you're supposed to do. I realized I was selling coffee because it's what a cafe is supposed to do, not because it's what I wanted to do. Here you are. If you're in the food business, or actually any business that you have, you want to make sure you're selling what you want to sell. If you don't want to sell it, even if it's one of your top items, just realize for that thing, you're being a mercenary. Now, don't get me wrong. I was doing an interview 2 days ago, and they were talking about Subway sandwiches. And I said, no, if they paid me $1 million, I'd be in a Subway commercial too. So I'm down to be a mercenary. Just make sure if you're being a mercenary, you're doing it for enough money, so at least you could justify being a mercenary. Otherwise, what the disconnect and disappointment and unhappiness that I see in most people, whether it's in a job or their own business, is they're being a mercenary, but for not enough money. And so that's the part that they're upset about. It's not that they're, oh, I gotta go do this or I gotta do that. It's you're doing something you don't wanna do and you're not getting paid enough money to do it. So if you're not gonna get paid enough money to do it, you might as well do something that you wanna do, and this way, even if you're not getting paid enough money to do it, you wanted to do it anyway.
And I think that with what you just said, people doing stuff for not enough money, I think that's why a lot of restaurant owners maybe give up, because they see the hype of how a restaurant looks. They see a trend of a certain food that's going on, like, different, hot chicken, smash burgers, all that stuff. And then when the hype dies down and the restaurant clears, it's not as, there's not as much money coming in, and you're just gonna give up. And so that's what I think, truly, that people are just doing it to make money because they see that it's good, and then once it's not making money, they're a mercenary, and they're just like, this has gotta go. Would you agree?
Well, that's literally what being a mercenary means. If you're like, oh, I hate fried chicken or Nashville fried
it's
chicken,
popular
but
right now.
Everybody's got one,
Yeah.
and Dave's just got $1 billion or
I
whatever,
need to
so I'm gonna
sell
go
the
open
next
up a fried chicken place. Well, the moment there's no money, you're gonna be like, well, I'm out. Well, if you're out, then why would you even start that? It's not like, I'm not saying you're not gonna become a billionaire off of selling fried chicken, but you're probably not gonna become a billionaire selling fried chicken unless you love it. Those Dave's guys, I met them a long time ago, back when probably they only had like 10 locations. They fucking love fried chicken. It's not a surprise they went out and they did whatever they had to do to sell $1 billion, to get $1 billion valuation. They love fried chicken. How do you know they loved it? When they were making no money, they were in a parking lot and selling fried chicken. How do I know you like hibachi? You had no money and you're in the freaking backyard of your mom's house selling hibachi. You should probably open up a hibachi restaurant, and here you are that you did it. But if you're like, oh, hey, I want to be cool like this and that, and then open up and there's great money, you probably would be pissed off during COVID when you made no money. And you'd be pissed off during, like, now allegedly it's a bad economy. Like, I probably make way less money than I do in previous years this year, but I don't complain about it because I would sell sandwiches for free. How do you know? Because I sold sandwiches for 2 years and 8 months for no freaking money. So that's how you know that I will sell sandwiches in the good economy, a bad economy. If I was doing it for the money, hey, sandwich shops are great money,
I like this one.
I would have quit in 2010. And then probably in 2012 I would have quit. Or COVID I would have quit. The thing is if you want to sell what you're selling, you will never quit. And how do you not ever fail is by never quitting. How do you become a billionaire in your field? Is by picking something you want to sell, because you'll never quit doing it. You might not make as much money as you want, but you're never going to quit because you want to sell it. You might make $1 one year and $100,000 one year, but you're going to still hang out with your cat. You're still going to hang out with your kid. Whatever you're going to do. So that's the thing. Otherwise, you're a mercenary. And again, I said there's absolutely nothing wrong with being a mercenary. Just when the money runs out, you gone. Look at sports, look at like actual like legit mercenaries in war. Like that's why they called them mercenaries. They just, who had the most money, I'm gonna go fight on their side. It's the same thing. You have a job and you don't like it, the next time somebody comes up and has basically the same job for more money, you're gone. It could even be a totally different job, but for more money and you're gone. And that's the problem with a lot of mercenary ways, is that people don't realize that they're being a mercenary, and that's the only reason why they're unhappy. It's not the job, because somebody loves that job.
They're just chasing the next greatest thing.
So you'll do yourself a disservice by not wanting to sell what you're selling. Even if you're working for somebody else, sell what you want to sell. Oh man, I love selling bras and panties, and that's why I got a letter from the vice president of Victoria's Secret saying, oh my God, you did this and that and that. And I got a bonus and all that. I was like, oh, I was doing that for $8 an hour in California when that was the minimum wage. Now, because I did it in that way, then they basically doubled my pay. But I didn't do it to get my pay doubled. I liked doing it. So then I stayed there for a long time, and then I eventually was like, oh, well, I'm not moving up. And I really did enjoy that. I thought that there was more on my list of things that I love to do, and then that's when I started Ike's.
And so, that's where I had that mental shift as well, because obviously when we all open a business, we all, obviously we want to make money, we want to make money for ourselves, but I had a couple moments in my life where I realized that there's no way that I have this restaurant and these businesses for money, because I have had the highest of highs and the lowest of lows. I've had my food trucks break down. I've been shut down by the health department. Had things delayed for months on months on months. I've tried to go get other jobs. I think God was like, no, bro, just keep going. I couldn't get hired at any jobs when I was trying to get one. My girl's like, you need to get a job. You need to get a job. I'm like, I'm trying. They're not hiring. And so that's when I had that same mental shift of like, there's no way I'm doing this for money. I truly believe that I'm doing this because I love it, and I love selling what I love to sell. And I wouldn't want to be doing it for any other person besides myself. And so I truly, 1,000,000%, we getting rich off who you see. There we go. Now we talking. He looks good in that hat, huh? So I truly believe that you do exactly what Ike just said. You got to do what you love. Is there any point, especially with the highs and the lows, that you were just like, yeah, I think I might give up? Was there any point of that at all?
A story that got played a lot back in the day. Once upon a time, I was one of the most famous restaurateurs in the whole entire United States.
But you're not anymore?
Because I was, for infamous reasons.
Oh, gotcha.
It was me versus the city of San Francisco. And at the time, the mayor of San Francisco was Gavin Newsom. You might have heard of him because he is the current governor of California and probably going to run for president. And back then, Arnold Schwarzenegger was the governor of California. And he's a Republican. I think he's like the only Republican governor of California, and like however many things. So people just kind of in California just didn't like him because he's a Republican. I know it's maybe a little bit different out here in Vegas, but in California it's like, oh, you're a Republican, you're the devil. So because Gavin Newsom was running for lieutenant governor against a Republican incumbent lieutenant governor, and I was linked to Gavin Newsom because I was going to get shut down in San Francisco. It was basically the Republicans in California were like, we're on Ike's side. And just because they were on my side, it made people upset. I'm like, I'll feed everybody. I don't care you can vote for the Green Party, the whatever party. I don't care who you voted for. Do you like sandwiches? Great, I will sell them to you. I fed multiple presidents, and I don't care what side they are on. I will sell whoever. And what happened ended up a big political thing, and then I ended up getting shut down. 2010, we had 3-hour waits, and I remember the Supreme Court of California said, hey, Ike, if you sell one more sandwich past, I think it was August 10th, we're going to arrest you for being in contempt of court. I know, this is not...
Arrested for selling sandwiches.
Yeah, exactly. This isn't in America, right? This is in San Francisco, the most progressive city in the world. But you can't sell sandwiches, by the way, you get arrested. And I used to joke like, oh yeah, you could totally do drugs in San Francisco, but if you sell a freaking sandwich, you're getting arrested. And they really didn't like that I'd bring that up, but I mean, it's true. It's true. And I didn't say that politically, it's just true. I have an Ike's where those videos you see about San Francisco being terrible. I literally have an Ike's like 2 blocks away from there. But at one point it was illegal for me if I sold a sandwich. So anyways, I get shut down.
Wow.
A business overnight. We were doing $3 million in sales. And this was like in August, so not even the whole year. And we got shut down. So the reason why I'm telling the story is not like, oh, screw whoever that or whatever. It's, I could have just shut down. Mm-hmm. Hey, I made my money. It didn't work out. See ya. I saved up, don't tell the government I had $100,000 in cash in a cigar box under my bed. It's not there anymore, so don't go looking. And I was like, okay, well, what am I gonna do with this $100,000 now? Like, basically I worked 3 years for $100K. Terrible, in California especially. I basically made $33,000 a year for 3 years. And that's what I had. And I go, I think I'm just gonna open up a restaurant. So I could have quit at the lowest point. Like I legit had 0 restaurants and I had money and I could have done anything. And I chose to open up a restaurant. So the thing is luckily for me that I picked something that I was gonna do no matter what, even for no money. Because when I ended up with no money and no business, I was like, oh, well, I'll just open up a restaurant. That's what I wanted to do. Again, starting from scratch. So I legit, 3 years in, had 0 restaurants and started over. And then I opened up 3 restaurants in basically that year. And then the media, instead of being like, oh, Republican, blah, 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 Ike, Republican sympathist, Ike, then they started calling me a hydra. They're like, he's like a hydra. When you cut one head off, 3 appear. That's like the best compliment I've ever got in my life. From media that were specifically, well, some media was on my side and some media was not on my side. Some people are like, oh, that's stupid to not sell sandwiches. And some people are like, yeah, that's what he gets for being with Arnold Schwarzenegger or whatever, like as if that made me evil.
Wow.
So
Wow.
I chose
That's incredible.
in again.
Yeah, because you do what you love and you're not a mercenary. So in 2010, you had started over with 1 restaurant. Now you have 130? Plus?
Over 130, yeah.
You lost track of...
I don't even know. Like I have to go to the website and count them. I used to have a
That's
tracker.
a good problem to have, right?
I used to have a tracker, but then I started thinking like, why count? I just want to wake up one day and it's 200.
Yeah, there you go. And so when it comes to growing any business, right, you obviously need to let go of certain things. You need to let go of operations. You need to let go of all this. We had a conversation this morning, or yesterday morning, about systems. And you said something to me, because, in my business, you can ask any of my employees, we have systems, we have checklists, we have everything. Now, it's not 2010, so it's all on the phone. Now we got apps and everything. I'm not saying 2010 was so long ago, but the iPhone, it does wonders. But to get from 1 to 5, from 5 to 10, from 10 to 100, what did you have to let go in order to grow, and what did you have to put in place in order to get there?
So I'm going to be the guy that's going to tell you that processes are overrated.
I couldn't believe it, by the way.
Yeah, when I told
said,
you
wait,
that.
what?
I was
What?
like, look, it doesn't really matter.
I told him they're almost done. He's like, who cares? I'm like, what do you mean, who cares?
You're not going to know. Okay, there's no business plan ever. Okay, here, I'll give you a real life example that everybody in this room could have experience with. All right, who here has a business of any kind? Doesn't need to be food. All right, and then in 2020, somewhere around March, the government was like, you can't do business anymore unless you're a certain niche of businesses. But everybody's just going to stop for like 2 weeks, yeah? Anybody have that in their business plan? Anybody have that in their processes? Like, hey, what if the government just says you can't fucking do anything? Who here had it? No, legit, anybody? No. And you know how many people had it? Probably nobody but Bill Gates or whatever, because he had that one movie or that one thing on.
Because he knew it was gonna happen.
On whatever. And I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I just know he talked about it in a thing on Netflix, right? So okay, outside of maybe a few like trillionaires or whatever that level of person, nobody else had it, right? So what the hell is a process gonna do for you anyway? What's a plan gonna do for you anyway? When I got shut down in 2010, did I have, oh, the government's gonna say I'm sorry, but you can't sell sandwiches in my business plan? Of course I didn't have that. And you probably wouldn't have either. In fact, we're having an issue now in one of my locations. I'm not gonna bust them out because it's BS government bullshit. And they're like, oh, you're gonna have to close. You actually don't have a permit to do what you're doing. And I was like, but I've been doing it already. And the health inspector gave me a permit, and the fire department gave me a permit, and the blah, blah, blah gave me a permit, and we got a permit to occupancy, but I don't have this one permit that everybody missed, and now I have to close my business because of that. And it already happened to me, and I still didn't have it in my business plan. We didn't have, by the way, make sure you got every single permit, and you go and beg everybody at the office to make sure. No. So the thing is, processes don't matter, because they're gonna do their stuff. You're gonna be gone, or you're gonna be here, and you're like, oh wow, I totally forgot. We didn't put a recipe on how to mix the Kool-Aid properly, or how to bag the things properly if it's gonna be shipped to Nebraska. So you just figure it out along the way. Even if you had processes right now, in a year they'll be different, or even if different, just means you added 3 pages to it. So when you start, if you're going to expand, have 3 locations, 103 locations, we add to our processes every single year. And I've been in business for 18 years. And I have 130 restaurants. And I'm like, oh, we totally should figure out how to teach people to be charming and amazing at the register. Wouldn't that be cool if we did that 18 years in? What if somebody comes in and they try to get a sandwich without dirty sauce on them? Shouldn't we probably have a thing that the people at the register say 18 years in? So that's what I mean by like processes. Not that there's zero importance, but you're never going to be completed with your processes. So if you're waiting to have your processes finished before you move on with your life or your business, you're never going to be done. We're 18 years in and we're still adding things every year. Now we're like, okay, social media, we need to do this. Or if I post something on the internet and somebody goes like, I want what Ike had, how are we going to make sure every store knows it? 18 years in, we're thinking about that, even though social media has been a thing for however long. So that's what I meant by processes don't matter.
Yeah, because the world's evolving. And another thing that we had on the conversation was you were saying, oh yeah, yesterday we're in a marketing meeting. And I truly believe that marketing you have to evolve with marketing. What were you guys 18 years later talking about in your marketing meeting?
Oh my God, all right, so the discourse online, I don't know if you guys it's like influencers like, I don't want to do collabs for free food. And if you're one of those, I'm not talking shit, I'm just saying. That's like a thing now. And I noticed that we were going, hey, we have a grand opening in Corona. Come on in and we'll give you some sandwiches and take some content. And 1, we were either getting, sorry, I'm not in town, or 2, we were getting, oh, here's my rate card. And I'm like, wait, what did you say? And they showed me the email. I go, no, it's, hey, Corona, California. And this is for anybody, live streaming, anybody. Corona, California. Ike, the frickin' sandwich wizard, is gonna be in Corona for frickin' 1 day. Are you a foodie? Are you a food influencer? Would you like to have a video with Ike? Would you like to meet Ike? Great. Ike's gonna be here. We only have 100 slots available. Let us know if you wanna be one of the slots. Ike really likes your page. If you want to, come. You know how many people are gonna be like, oh, well, here's my rate card? None of them. You know how many people were like, oh, well, I wasn't gonna be in town, but if that's the only time Ike is gonna be here for like, low-key forever. I'd probably never go to Corona, California ever again. No offense, Corona, California, but like, it's probably a one-and-done visit for me. People are like, oh, if that's the only time I can shoot a video with Ike, count me in, I'm changing my plans. And I go, that's how you have to evolve. If I was messaging you, I'm like, hey, Taylor Swift is gonna be in town on Friday and she thinks you're a big fan, come, this is the time. Would you be like, no, here's my rate card? Would I even have to sell you on coming? So I was telling the team, why are you trying to beg people to show up for free food? Like, beg them and feed them? No, be like, Ike is gonna be here. If you wanna meet him, great. If you don't, that's fine too. You don't have to come. We know we're gonna fill up 100 slots to meet me. How do I know? Every single time we do an opening, there's like 100 people before we open. So I already know the 100 slots are gonna be sold, or we don't sell them, they're free. But we already know they're gonna get grabbed up. So why are we acting like, hey, please, you can get access and do this, and he'll even jump in your video for you? No, we got 100 slots, do you want it? Let us know, if not, she'll see you in like 2 years when we open the second Corona location or something.
Just like that.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't say that legit, but it was like, hey, Ike is only gonna be here for this time, from 12 to 5, and he only has 100 slots. Do you want one? He really likes your content. No, one person said, yeah, I charge $8,000 for a video. Not that I care that if they do, like if they're listening, they watch this later, if you're on right now. I'm not saying you shouldn't charge $8,000 for your video, but I'm saying I'm not getting anybody saying, here's my rate card now. Nobody, not a single person. But the other way was, oh yeah, sure, I'll totally come in and shoot a video and get free food and my rate card is whatever the rate card is. Or, oh, sorry, I'm hanging out with my hamster's dog that day, so maybe I'll come in a different time. Does that work for you guys? No, it doesn't, because Ike is only going to be here at this time. Sure, you can come in at that time. Bring your hamster and his dog, that's fine. But if you want Ike, he's only going to be here this day from this time to this time. And so that was one of the things we talked about, is how you have to change and adapt. in there. Before it used to be like, hey, I'll give you free sandwiches. You want to come and do content? And everybody would like basically beg for that. And now it's not that case. So I guess people value it more and they value the free food less. But do you get to hang out with Vanilla Rice and make hibachi? No.
Hey.
So I don't care what you charge. He would charge you. So if you want to come, come. If you don't, don't. And that's basically the meeting that we had, the gist of the meeting. And I said, this should be from now on. If we hit up Taylor Swift, hey, Taylor, Ike has a spot to create one more collab this year, and he'd love it to be you, but he's just got one slot. Let us know. By whatever. And she says, no, I'll take the next person. Elon, Joe Rogan, whoever, I don't know who I'd pick.
So when it comes to influencers and social media, I've used influencers. I've also done my own social media. Obviously, in the last, since 2010, so last, 16 years, influencers were not as big as they are now. What are some type of ways that you can still grow your food brand, still, get yourself out there without, having $8,000 to pay an influencer or something like that? What are ways that you guys used to do it that still might work today for somebody that's listening?
Well, so you do it for sure. I see your stuff. And I've been doing it. I basically was the first ever food influencer on Yelp. On the Yelp page, my face was on the front page of Yelp worldwide for 3 years. And it stayed that way until geolocation became a thing. If you go into Yelp.com from anywhere in the world and you hadn't typed in you were in Australia or you were in Vegas, San Francisco was the default page because that's what the default page of Yelp was. So I would go around people like, oh my God, you're the sandwich guy. And I'm talking about I had one restaurant. Oh my God, you're the sandwich guy. Australia, I was in London. Oh my God, you're the sandwich guy. I had like 3 restaurants in London. None in London, but I was in London. Because my face I was like an original foodie influencer. I noticed, because when I first started, my face wasn't on the logo. I don't have a logo. I have a logo hat over there. And so I was like, oh, people love people. So I built my brand around myself, and it was already called Ike's. It was called Ike's Place. Now it's Ike's Lovin' Sandwiches. And then I built the brand around me. It was already that, but I made it like I doubled and tripled down. So whatever your thing is, like just look at any influencer you follow now, or anybody with a podcast that you follow. You like them first. Then you like their content. In fact, probably their content was irrelevant. You like them, and then their content, you're like, oh, cool, this is cool. Whatever your business is, just keep doing that. I live stream a lot, and people talk shit, and people are like, you're the man. The thing is it doesn't matter. Building your brand around yourself, one, it becomes authentic. As long as you're selling what you want to sell, as long as you're not pandering. But 2, the people that resonate with you are going to become your big fans. And it's also going to drive some people away, but those are people that weren't your customers anyway.
Right.
In 2026, that actually helps the algorithm. Like when I live stream, people talk shit, people are like, hey, why don't you block that person? And I'm like, cause TikTok will show more people that if that person keeps talking smack, TikTok's gonna be like, oh wow, that person doesn't even follow this guy, and this person's commenting 15 times about his stupid hat or his bald head or he looks like a monkey or something. And you can use that to your benefit now. And that's something that anybody can do. Like probably people watch you and think you're trash, and probably people like you, like me, I probably like every single post that you post. And there's people like me that are like, oh dude, fuck yeah, I love that guy. And sometimes you post something like, oh no. It says send it to the last girl you kissed. I'm like, shit, I don't even remember who that was.
I truly believe that social media, if you're not on social media, especially as a restaurant owner in 2026, you're doing yourself a big disservice. And when I say that, I'm posting anywhere from 3 to 5 times a day on my business page and on all my platforms. And to me, it's the number one thing that grows. I mean, you can ask any of my employees, what does everybody say when they come in where they found us? TikTok. Instagram. How many people say they saw us driving by?
Maybe 1 out of
I like to say I picked the two of the best locations for my restaurants to ever exist, but they're not the best locations, all right? Location is very important. But with social media, people are traveling, people are going out, especially here in Las Vegas. What, 5, 6 years ago, it was, I mean, maybe longer, I don't know, but it was the strip. We're on the strip. But now with the ecosystem of Las Vegas and social media, people don't want to go to the strip. There's a world outside of the strip that is untapped. And so, especially you guys being a business out here in Las Vegas, whether you operate every single day, you do caterings, you do anything like that, social media is the number. If there was a number before one, which there is 0, but you know what I mean. That's what I would triple, quadruple, put all my money on social media.
Yeah, well, it's the way of marketing these days. Word of mouth marketing is the best #1 marketing because it's free. Though doing social media is basically word of mouth marketing, but with bigger amplification.
And you do have a good location because it's next to the freeway
Thanks.
and next to Walmart.
I like to say the same, so I appreciate it.
Don't you see every Home Depot and Lowe's next to each other?
Yeah.
Because they're ex-husband and wives. They don't play.
Yeah.
They know exactly what they're doing. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I appreciate it.
So you're saying get divorced and then put a business right next to your former spouse?
I'm just saying,
That could be a good plan too.
it's
You gotta get married
like,
first.
like every gym, there's a like a healthy spot next to it because they're not stupid. You strategize on your people that are networking into, you're bringing your people into. So you're doing exactly what you're supposed to do.
I appreciate it.
Freeway, next to Walmart, like that's a good thing.
Well, I just keep listening to Ike, and whatever Ike tells me to do, I just do it. That's really what it is, you know. So I'm
But
gonna.
of course, social media is super huge in marketing.
Yeah.
1,000.
Well, like I said, because you know my location on East Flamingo. I mean, you pull up there. I mean, you know, you're gonna get food, but you also might get asked, you know, can I get $1 as well? But people come from all over the world. The craziest one I had, I'll put this one out there, Australia. These people came in from Australia. I said, how'd you guys see us? They're like, we saw you on TikTok, and I'm over there. I'm like, I can't believe this is my first year. And I'm like, I can't believe you came from Australia. I've had Australia, I've had China. I can imagine the amount of people that have come in the cities and ate with Ike as well from all over the country. So I'm gonna ask you a couple more questions, and then I am gonna open it up to Q&A. I hope you guys have some questions. You better have some questions. I'm gonna pick on you if you don't. Make you think of a question.
I have 1,000 questions.
Let's go. All right, so I don't know if this is your most popular person that's ate your food, but you had some very popular people eat your food. I remember we were at that UFC event, UFC X, and all the UFC fighters were eating your food, and I'm like, yeah, I got the UFC fighters eating this food. I'm so jealous. But you've had some of the most well-known names. The most popular one, I think, right now that's all over social media is Billie Eilish.
Oh, that's my girl, yeah. I met Billie many moons ago.
Does everybody here know who Billie Eilish is, or Eilish, however you say it? Yeah. How did that come to be? How did you get Billie Eilish either in the store or the food? And she talks about it a lot. I've seen it on interviews on Jimmy Kimmel and people like that talking about Ike sandwiches. That's
So
incredible.
we met a long time ago, and crazy, we're chatting, and she asked me about what I do, and I'm like, oh, I'm in the restaurant business. She's like, oh, cool. I'm in the restaurant business too. I go, where do you live? She's like, I'm in LA. I go, oh, I've got restaurants in LA. It's a sandwich shop. Have you been? And she's like, oh no, I'm vegan. And I'm like, oh no. I got vegan. We were best vegan sandwich in America according to PETA. And I got 300 this and we start chatting, and I go, and what about you? Like, what do you do? And she looks at me in my eyes, and she goes, I'm Billie Eilish. And I go, okay, yeah, whatever. So we're chatting. We're hanging out, I don't know, like 20 minutes, and then she leaves. And then later on, I was with my buddy, and I go, hey, what'd she say her name was? I go, Billie, how do you think she spells it? I go, type in B-I-L-L, and it goes, E. Eilish. And I was like, oh, here you click on it. 40 million. I'm like, holy crap, I didn't know, I didn't know who she was when she met. So basically, that's how she found out about Ike's. She was probably like, oh, that's so cute. This guy didn't know who I was. And anyway, so then she's been eating there, and then she starts promoting it. That's basically, it was a random.
One of her music videos.
It was, yeah, she had us in her, it's the most appropriate for Ike's. It was called Lunch. And if you know the lyrics of the song, obviously she was eating Ike's in there as a euphemism for, yeah. So that's how it happened. But basically, she ate there and she loved it. And that's why she talks about it.
Yeah, I've
And
seen
we
it.
fed her on tour, we fed her brother on tour, her dad on tour.
Keep it going, keep it going.
Yeah.
I have a million questions to ask you, but I do want to
Yeah.
ask two more.
As many as you want. I flew out here for you, baby. You
let's
who came
go.
here for you? I came here for you.
Me and me only. Praise the Lord.
And a burrito.
Yeah, and a burrito.
Yeah.
How'd you like that burrito? It was good?
You know me, I get one every time I'm in town. I get a lobster steak. I was telling you, it's not on the app. I have to like special order it, but yeah.
Let me tell you one thing though, real quick about Ike. The first time Ike actually came to a restaurant, mind you, I like to say we're good friends now. You know, we're more than acquaintances now. The first time he comes to my restaurant, I'm like, Ike's coming to my restaurant. Oh my God, Ike's coming to my restaurant. He grabs the food. He literally sits in my lobby at my other restaurant. If you've been to my other restaurant, there's no seating. We had a bench that I pulled from the outside that, you know, I'll say this now, but probably a couple homeless people slept on this bench, but I needed a bench in my restaurant and it was outside. And he just sits, pops a squat, eats in my restaurant. He's like one of the most humble guys that I've ever met, and just somebody that, I mean, don't get me wrong, he got it going on and he knows it. But he's just so cool and so amazing, and he's out to help everybody, and I'm just super blessed that you could come through here. I just wanted to share that story. The first time this guy's eating in front of my restaurant, I'm like, this is incredible. I'm sitting there like, if there's any advice you could give to, I guess we'll do this in a 3-part question, and this will be the last, and we'll open it up. Anybody starting out in food, anybody that's in food, and anybody that's thinking about giving up in food, any advice you can give to any 3 of those people?
So if you're starting or you haven't started yet, make sure you freaking love feeding people. If you don't, I don't care how good your sandwich is, your burritos are, your noodles are. If you don't like feeding people, you shouldn't do it. If you wouldn't do it for the love of the game, don't do it. Not that there's no money in there, because I will 100% be a billionaire from this, and I'm 100% like pretty damn wealthy from it already. But it came from the love of the game, not for, I think this is a good idea or I have good recipes. If you don't enjoy feeding people right now, don't do it. Okay, that's if you haven't started yet.
Yeah.
If you're in the game right
now, keep going.
If you're in the game right now, look at the things that you love about the business, love doing, and only do that. Delegate every single thing else out. And if you got one restaurant, open up your second one. It's easier having 131 restaurants than it is to have one.
I didn't believe it when he told me that.
And it's true.
You sound crazy.
I like that.
So you sound crazy.
And on top of that, it pays. Maybe not 131x, but like not only is it easier for me to have the restaurants that I have, it also pays more. So you're doing yourself a disservice if you stay at one. You're doing yourself a disservice if you stay at 2. Don't not do it because you believe in perfection or you think rich people are bad or you can't expand without losing quality. All psyops. I don't know who started it, but it wasn't by somebody that was good at opening up restaurants. My buddy Andrew Chern, who's on the Mount Rushmore he owns Panda Express. He has like 2,600 restaurants, and he's one of the coolest, down-to-earth, most grounded human beings I've ever met in my life. And he's like, yeah, boom, 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 boom. He loves restaurants. He loves feeding people. He loves giving back. Like the things that he loves is different about restaurants is different than the things that I love about restaurants. But he loves them, and that's why he got to where he is. He's 70 something, and he still is like, I look at stores and I go in there and he'll sweep the floor if he thinks it's dirty, and all that stuff because he loves it. He's not thinking about retiring. He probably will never retire. He definitely spends a lot of time with his family, but he's probably never going to stop selling Chinese food. So that's what I tell you if you have it. And if you're like, I want to give up, then fucking give up. Like that means you chose the wrong thing.
Yeah.
And you're a mercenary, and that's the only reason why you're giving up. Because there's lots of things you don't give up on. I didn't give up when the government closed me down, and it's not because I'm better than anybody here. It's because I picked something that I wanted to do. So when I had the chance to start over, I picked it again. So if you're in the restaurant business and you're like, maybe would I pick this again? Ask yourself, what's it that you love about the business? If it's a lot of things, okay, then probably the mistake is you're not delegating all the bullshit. And you probably haven't gotten 2 locations and 3 locations and 4 locations. Because it'd be easier to have 4. And if at a minimum you just stopped doing the things he didn't want to do, you'd probably not consider closing.
That's amazing. Let everybody give a round of applause for Ike. This guy, this is my guy.